So I finished work early today, Friday on November 22nd, and it was miserable. It was, snowing, and I figured it should be good time to try to do some, taxi work. And so I cleaned up the Durango, the one that has 3 rows of seats. Cleaned up the seats, cleaned up the floor mats with the snow, and then started the Lyft and Uber. And today we're drinking Villa. What is this? I don't know how to say it. Villa Regia, something from Portugal. And so started both apps and was sitting at the retail plaza near Starbucks there for some 10 minutes, nothing. And I look on the app, I look at the demand, and they show, like Uber shows you dollar signs. Like if it's $1 sign, it means, low income potential. If it's $3 signs or 4, that's great income potential, meaning that there's a demand, right? But my area, Northeast, it's more or less, it's always like $1 sign. And so I checked what was happening at the airport, because I can see there's a icon that says waiting lot. I checked on Lyft. It says 11 rides per hour, but only 1 to 5 drivers from Lyft, which means that you can be gone pretty fast, You can get a passenger. And then Uber says high income potential, short wait. Basically, I think it's like 4,000 passengers expected to arrive in the next 2 hours. And the weather's awful, like, again, snowing, and it's cold. So, great for taxi drivers. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to head over to the airport because it's only like 5 minutes away. And I'm going to line up in that waiting lot. And so I start driving, and all of a sudden Uber gives me a ride. And so I cancel. I have to turn off Lyft because they don't have a pause button, right? So with Uber, they have a pause or brake button, but Lyft does not have that, so I don't want them to bother me when I'm doing an Uber ride. So I turned off Lyft, and it's sending me, Uber is sending me 8 kilometers away to Cross-Iron Mills shopping center, just north of Calgary. But it says it's a XL ride. My first time, XL. So somebody either has lots of luggage, or they have 6 people, because I have 7 seats. So driver, front passenger, then 3 in the second row, and 2 in the back. And so I show up there. Let me see, where's my first one here? So I'm looking at my app, which shows the rides I did today. Wait, Wednesday, today's Friday, right? Thursday, here we go. No, actually, yeah, the first one, sorry about that. The first ride today was just a short one. It was a guy going from that area. He was going to another retail plaza. Yeah. So I forgot about this one. This one only paid $4.50 because it was like 2 kilometers, He was going from a restaurant, I think. He was going to a barber shop. Okay, and then the second one, that's where these guys, XL from Cross-Iron Mills. So I drove empty. Basically, yeah, I was on my way to the airport, and they turned me around, and they said XL, basically high income potential. And so I went to Cross-Iron Mills, and I said, where are you guys going? Because I have no idea, right? The app does not show me. until I click pick up. And they say the airport. And this is not the first time. I don't know what the story is, but quite often people do their shopping and then they drive to and then they get a taxi to the airport. I guess maybe they're just killing time or something, because there's a movie theater there, there's a bunch of restaurants, and you can walk around. It's all under, closed space, right? But anyway, so they gave me a $6 tip. So there were 6 people. Like, I show up there and I'm like, wait. I said, how many people we have? And they said 6. And there was a guy sitting next to me. There was 3 in the middle. And I showed them how to open the access to the rear row. And 2 girls were in the very back. And I said, guys, this is the first time I'm using XL. Like, I never had so many people inside this car before. And so with the tip, and these guys were they were speaking French. And I said, are you guys from Quebec? And they said, no, we are from France. Wow. And so I got $31.30. This is probably the best ride I've done so far for Uber. So 8 kilometers empty, and then pretty much probably 9 kilometers back to the airport, because the airport was only slightly further away than where I started empty. And XL and a big tip, So I think they did see that sign on I put it on the backrest of the front passenger seat, and it says tips, And then after that, oh yeah, that was funny. After that, so I dropped them off at the WestJet on departures level, and Uber is cool in this respect, that you don't have to actually go to the waiting lot. Sometimes, if they have a passenger right there, they will give it to you, when it's getting busy. And so as soon as I drop these off, it gives me it says 150 meters. There's another ride. Would you like to accept it? And so yeah, okay, accept. And it says international gate. Like, doesn't tell me the door, but I know international, it's like way kind of like at the exit there after all the Canadian carriers. So I go there, I stop, and I look closer at the details of my ride, and it says arrivals international gate. Holy moly. And I'm in departures, so second floor. Arrivals is first floor. So for me to go back, it's like 2 kilometers, because it's all one way. So I called the guy. I said, hey, if you don't have a lot of luggage, would you mind just taking the elevator to the next level? And he was a great guy. He took the elevator, and he was just going to a hotel maybe 3 kilometers away, just west of the airport. And then when I went there, when I dropped him off, wait. So yeah, 35, that was this. And then right away I got this guy, and he was asking me how to give me a tip. I said, you'll get a reminder. So he never tipped me. But then I got airport. Oh yeah. So right next to the hotel, there's a car rental agency, maybe 400 meters away. And as soon as I dropped this guy at the hotel, Uber offered me this ride, and it says XL. And I show up there. There's a bunch of people. I said, how many? Like, there's too many, because there's like 6 grown-ups and a couple of kids. And they had a couple of big suitcases. And I said, I'm not sure if we can fit everybody with the suitcases. And they said, oh, it's okay, they'll take another car. But they still paid me for XL. And we only went 6 kilometers. And they gave me, it was like a young family. And they gave me $381 in tips, because I helped them with the luggage. I loaded and unloaded. in the trunk. But basically what they did, they split with the other people in their group, and they said, oh, it's okay, they'll take another Uber. Okay, must be from US if they don't care about the cost. I said, hey, we have still the passenger seat, and we have 2 seats in the back, in the 3rd row. But they said, well, if we put them up, right, there won't be room for our suitcases. But they still pay me as if it was XL. You see, $13 for 6 kilometers. I see a difference right away, you know. And I think it was my last round. So I only did 4, I think, right? Let me just. Yeah, so I did 4 trips, and my gross was I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's $58. 4 trips, $58. Yeah, if I go into earnings and I can click cash out, boom. For some reason now it's $61.78 is on the way, because I think I did something before. So yeah, no Lyft today, because you know I'm trying to get out of this bad area northeast where things are always slow. I start both apps and then go with the first one, whoever offers me a ride. I don't care about the price. Just getting out of the area so that I don't have to drive empty, right? But this time Uber beat Lyft every time. And after I turned it off, you know, first time when I had that guy going to the barber shop, I never had to turn it back on because Uber was giving me rides like this, you know. So Cross Iron Mills to the airport to the hotel, next to the hotel, that Roots agency, to the eastern side, just not too far from my home. And then, you know, I drove to a restaurant where I got some takeout, and by that time I thought, okay, if by this time Uber does not give me anything, I'm gonna shut it down and go home. And that's what happened. So Uber was quiet, even though like the map of Calgary looked like a Christmas tree, you know, like there were surcharges everywhere. There's blue, red, you know. Actually, yeah, but you know, I worked all day today. I worked all day driving the delivery truck. But if this was my full-time job, like today, in this kind of weather, I probably could have done, I don't know, I'm just thinking, maybe $300, you know, if I worked, let's say, you know, 7 to 7. Like days like this are great. Unfortunately, tomorrow, Saturday, the best day for Uber in Calgary. But I'm working 8 to 4. So I'm definitely gonna, after I finish work, I'm gonna clean up the car. I'm gonna use my Jeep Compass, because Durango is already low on gas, but Compass has a bunch of gas in the tank. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna take Jeep Compass to work, and then after work clean it up and try to make some money. So yeah, not too bad. So it's from I think it was like just over an hour, you know, like, to be honest with you. No, wait, I think I got the first one at 4:30. Yeah, it was like maybe 2 hours, 4:30 to 6:30, maybe to 6, and I made over, what is it, $60 or something there? Or was it 58? 58, I think, right? So yeah, like in bad weather. So bad weather, that's when people order food and they use taxi a lot, right? So 2 tips, not too bad out of 4. So I don't know, call me crazy, but I definitely see an improvement with tips after I started using Dodge Durango, and a much nicer vehicle, bigger, more seats, I think more comfortable, no hail damage. And 2, after I installed those signs, you know, in the back of the seat, reminding people to tip. So I don't know. I think they're working. I just have one. The other one is a spare. I keep it in the glove box, but I let it sit there. If it works, why not, right? Thanks for watching.